This visualization captures a corporate contradiction. On the left side, we see aggressive margin expansion, climbing from 17% to 23% in just 4 years. But on the right, new product revenues are simultaneously dropping from 33% of total sales down to 25%. The exact same management disciplines that successfully eliminate production defects can inadvertently strangle the exploratory research required to keep a company alive. I'm Alex, a Master Black Belt at Six Sigma Development Solutions. We are going to deconstruct the historical implementation of Six Sigma at the 3M company to understand exactly how this happens. Our objective is to learn how to achieve organizational ambidexterity. Long-term enterprise survival requires a calculated balance between ruthless operational efficiency and protected creative freedom. To understand the friction, we have to understand the math. Six Sigma is a rigorous management strategy and statistical methodology used to systematically track and manage process variation. This chart illustrates the target metric. When a process is operating at a true Six Sigma level, it accounts for a 1.5 standard deviation shift and produces no more than 3.4 defects per million opportunities. On a manufacturing floor, variation is the ultimate enemy. The goal is a synchronized system where every single output is identical to the last. Eliminating that physical variation directly drives down the cost of poor quality, the capital wasted on scrap, rework, and field failures. It also triggers a cascade of secondary benefits, sharply reducing cycle times and increasing overall asset turnover. On the production line, standardizing deviations is the single fastest way to boost an organization's operating margins. To achieve those margins, practitioners use the DMAIC cycle. First, define customer requirements and measure process capability through strict data collection. Next, analyze data to find root causes, improve the process with solutions, and control the new process by establishing standard measures. This isn't guesswork. Teams run multivariable studies using specific formulas, like the Z-score equation seen here, to isolate the vital few variables causing defects. For new product development, there is a counterpart methodology called Design for Six Sigma, or DFSS. Both frameworks are effective at building quality into a system from the ground up, but they demand absolute predictability from their inputs. In 2001, 3M hired a new CEO, James McNerney. He was tasked with mandating process standardization across the entire firm to prioritize efficiency. He launched a mandatory implementation of Six Sigma. Within a few years, over 55,000 salaried employees were trained in the methodology. In the company's large-scale manufacturing divisions, this new system was an undeniable triumph. Take the Industrial Abrasives Belt project. By applying root cause analysis, the team reduced defects by a factor of 28, which directly correlated to a 54% spike in sales for that specific product line. This data table illustrates how they integrated Six Sigma into 3M's pollution prevention PAYS program. The actual results outperformed the targets, like a 61% reduction in volatile air emissions against a 25% goal, proving the system's value for environmental sustainability. When top-down, rigid statistical controls are applied to stable, repetitive environments, they generate staggering financial and environmental returns. But then those same controls reached research and development, the historical engine of 3M's RIMF. The new regime forced rigid requirements onto nascent research projects. Every idea had to be documented in a red book, passing through strict toll gates that demanded detailed market sizes and manufacturing plans before the science was even proven. This strict scheduling created immediate friction. It stifled serendipitous discovery and actively punished the culture of creative tangents that had invented the Post-it note. Researchers encountered a mechanical limit to the system. Creativity cannot be scheduled for 3 good ideas on a Wednesday. The intense focus on process control numbers, defect rates, and predictable timelines was antithetical to exploratory, blue-sky research. This is how the optimization trap is triggered. It happens when leadership mistakes creative, necessary volatility for operational waste. Abstracting the 3M case gives us a view of the implementation pitfalls that cause enterprise-wide deployments to fail. The first is uniform application. Forcing the DMAIC structure into environments with low cultural fit prioritizes short-term, measurable metrics over long-term discovery. The second major pitfall is metric obsession, when tracking the statistics becomes more important than the actual performance of the process itself. The inevitable result is employee burnout and resistance. The solution to these pitfalls is mutual adaptation. In a successful deployment, the corporate culture adopts data accountability, but leadership drops the rigid toll gates in spaces where exploratory variance is required. To navigate this successfully, practitioners need to build their deployment on 3 pillars. The first is target intensity. The methodology must be rigorously enforced in supply chain and manufacturing, but relaxed in pure R&D. The second pillar is to integrate with core values. 3M proved this by aligning Lean Six Sigma with historic pre-existing environmental programs, which helped achieve lasting employee buy-in. The final pillar is to cultivate ambidexterity. An organization has to exploit its existing markets efficiently while aggressively protecting its creative spaces. This reveals the duality of a black belt's role. Mastering the statistical math is only half the job. The rest is cultural adaptation. Because of this complexity, formal certification is required to deploy these tools safely at an enterprise level. You can find comprehensive training resources through Six Sigma Development Solutions. Optimization requires identifying exactly where variance is waste and where it is the catalyst for discovery.